YouTube viewers, it's Crystal here. I'm here because I wanted to make you another video. In this particular video, what we're going to be discussing is how to create a chi-squared distribution in Excel. And so the first thing that you do when you want to develop a chi-squared distribution is you want to input your degrees of freedom. And so in this particular exercise, I put a degree of freedom of 10. But if you'll notice, if you change the degree of freedom to, like, say 1, you notice that the chi-squared graph changes. So I made it 10 just so you could have a pretty good indication of what the graph looks like. But you can experiment with different degrees of freedom and find out what the graph looks like. And then so after you have input your degrees of freedom in F2, then what you need to do is you need to enter your inputs. And here we've got we have 0 to, I think, 20. And cells A3 to A23. So that's going to be your input. The next thing that we need to do is we need to input the formula for the PDF, that's probability distribution function of the chi-squared. And we're going to, in cell B3, we're going to input the formula equals chizq.dist, be A3, and it'll be $F, $2, and false. So the $sign before the cell means that this is an absolute reference, so it's not going to change. And then the false means that it's a probability distribution function. And so you're going to copy this formula all the way down to cell B23. The next thing that you want to do is you want to put in the formula for the chi-squared for cumulative distribution function, and that formula is exactly the same as it was for the probability distribution function, except for the fact that it's true. You put true instead of false, and that lets you know that it's a cumulative distribution function. And you copy that formula all the way down to D23. So if you want to look at the graph that is made for the chi-squared distribution PDF, you can see that that's what the graph looks like with a degree of freedom of 10. And this is what the cumulative distribution function looks like with a degree of freedom of 10. So you can, as we've already done it, you can play around with the degree of freedoms. And what that will do is that will actually change what your curve looks like. So I'll go back to 10 though, so it'll be similar to a bell curve. And if you want to actually make a graph, then what you have to do is you have to section off the cells that you want to appear in the graph, the data that you want to appear in the graph. You come over here where it says insert, you go over to recommended charts, and you can see that we've got recommended charts in a lot of different types of charts. So we've got the XY scatter plot, but let's look over here, and this is a cluster column, so you can see cluster column. You can also come over here to all charts, and you can check a column. And so this is your column chart, and then we click OK. And I'm just going to move it over here. Next to the scatter plot. And then so if you want to make a chart of the chi-squared CDF, you have to take your You have to highlight the cells that you want to be on the scatter plot. And you come over to the ribbon, you type insert, click on to recommended charts. We click over here to all charts, and then we will select a column chart. And you see that we've got a column chart here. And we'll just move this next to the scatter plot. So now here you've got two different types of charts that you can view the chi-square distribution on, and you can change it. We'll just make this degree of freedom 7. And you can see that the degree of freedom has changed. The charts have changed when you change the degree of freedom. But I'm just going to go back to 10 so it looks a little bit more like a bell curve. So that pretty much covers how to create a chi-square distribution in Excel. We've covered the degrees of freedom, chi-square distribution, PDF, chi-square distribution CDF. We've discovered how to create a chart, and so I think we've covered everything. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. If you like my video, please like and subscribe, and I look forward to communicating with you in the next video, and we will be talking about more statistical distributions.